Welcome to another Figuring Out Japan video, and in this video I'm going to talk about the Bricklink Designer Program. In this video I'm going to talk about what it is, why it was a mess, what are the counter arguments in defense of Lego, how Lego can change this going forward, and most importantly, why it damages Lego's reputation. So what is it? The Bricklink Designer Program is sets that are they're official Lego and they're manufactured by the Lego Group, but they are designed by fans, not by Lego employees. Now, to me, this was the idea of the Lego Ideas series. That's what that was supposed to be. But I guess this is something similar. It's a bit experimental for Lego since they've now bought and own Bricklink. And what I have here on this page is the 5 sets that were made available for sale on the 7th of February 2024, as you can see here. Now, this was before the set actually went on sale, so you can see the counter went to 0. And if we now have a look at the page as it's been updated, we can see that the sets have before I get to that, let's talk about why it was a mess. So these sets were meant to be available for sale for 21 days. You can see the timer here. So they've now been on sale for about 15 hours. But when the timer hit 0 and they were made available for sale, the whole site crashed. And when it did finally get going, this particular set, which was the one I wanted, sold out in, from what I could tell, about 2 hours. And we can see here already after 15 hours that a second set is sold out, a third set is nearly sold out, and I'm very confident that these other 2 sets will also sell out. So for a set that already has a very, very limited release window of 21 days, to sell out in 2 hours is a very bad look for Lego. Now, these were produced, or these will be produced with 30,000 sets each. That probably sounds like a large number, but if you think about it, there's about 200 countries in the world. So on average, that's about 150 sets per country. Now, I know there are small countries that realistically you may not need 154, but I think a lot of countries, if you think about countries in Europe, if you think about America, etc., you're gonna need a lot more than 150 sets per country. So 30,000 really isn't a big number at all. And another way to put that into perspective is Lego sent one of these sets to a YouTuber who uploaded a video of this particular set, and that was uploaded 6 days ago, and it has, as of the time of this video, about 175,000 views. So one YouTuber who I believe doesn't have anywhere close to 1 million subscribers, and it was just 6 days before, and you have 175,000 people viewing it. And you've got to remember, not every Lego fan watches YouTube and sees it through that medium. So it's very possible that there'd be 500,000 people that are interested in this set. So 30,000 is a very limited release window. And again, it's a bad look for Lego. So, okay, what are the counter arguments that we can try and defend Lego with this? We could say, well, it's a new concept, it's innovative, Lego are trying something different, they're trying to figure it out, they're trying to predict market demand, and that's something that's difficult to do. But I would argue that the Castle series is one of the most popular series that Lego have made. It has always been one of the foundations of their lineup. The first castle was released in 1978. So it's been, I think the minifigure was released in 1977. So the castle series has really been there since the beginning of Lego as we know and recognize it today. And there have been wave after wave after wave of castle series released over the years because it sells. And Lego know this, right? So they should have anticipated that this was going to be a very popular product. And further proof of that is the Lion Knight's Castle, which is a set that Lego released. Similar piece count, they released it about a year ago, has been immensely popular. I'll talk a bit about that later. And also the prior Bricklink designer program sets have been massively successful and have sold out in a flash. And credit to Lego, they originally did 10,000, then the next ones they did 20,000, now they're doing 30,000, but still you can see that that's nowhere near adequate. And Lego is a large company. It has teams of people with market and data analytics. They know it sells. And just think of how Lego has changed even over the last 5, 10, 15, 20 years. How you have all these IPs now. Star Wars, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, Marvel, Disney. Lego knows this sells, so they keep making more of it. You think of the AFOL, the adult fans of Lego. Same thing, right? Lego keep making bigger, larger, more expensive, more complex sets that are geared towards adults because they know it's popular, they know it sells. You think of nostalgic sets. They're doing, like I said, the Lion Knight's Castle. They've done Pirates of Barracuda Bay. They did the Eldorado Fortress re-release. They've done some re-releases of the Space series. They know, again, nostalgia sells. Minifigures. Now you have the minifigure sets because the collectors, Lego fans love minifigures. The friend sets because it's popular amongst girls, and guys can have friend sets as well. So Lego know very clearly what sells, and they know their customer. And with these releases, it's already been through a very competitive process where fans can see it and vote for it and provide feedback. So, I don't really, buy the argument that Lego just didn't anticipate this or didn't know. And even YouTubers, or the YouTuber who looked at this one particularly, even said, hey, you better get up, set your alarm, be ready. This is going to sell out in a flash. So if the fans know it, then surely Lego should know it too. The second counter argument you could say, or try and defend Lego with, is say, well, this is a risky venture. It might not do well. They might lose money. But as I just mentioned before, this has already been through a competitive process. These 5 sets are the best of the best. And the fans are telling Lego, this is what we want. And that's not something Lego normally has the luxury of. They sit in their, glass towers behind closed doors. They spend months, if not years, designing sets. And then it goes to market and they just hope that it'll be successful. That's why they spend so much time on understanding their customer base, because they need to know what's going to sell. But this actually has a lot less because it's already got feedback. And more importantly, there's no risk to them with these sets. Because, and Lego say themselves, this is crowdfunded. Lego haven't produced these sets. They haven't really done anything. They didn't design it. They haven't spent any resources on it. So it's almost like drop shipping, right? They haven't done anything with it. And they're saying, and they're not even committing to producing this set. They're saying, if we don't sell 3,000, a minimum of 3,000, we're not even going to produce it. So Lego don't have any risk with these series. The third defense you could have with Lego is say, well, they have limited resources. And in fairness, a 4,000 odd piece set does take, I think probably more difficult than people might realize in terms of, you know, manufacturing the right pieces and bagging them and boxing them and then logistically getting them out to people. It is a very big process, but that's Lego's job. That's what it does. That's what the company does. It produces Lego and it makes it available to consumers. And so this is meant to be released or sent out to consumers in July. But why? And that is a tight time frame. But why does it have to be July? Why not make it October or November or December? What's the big rush? I really don't understand that. And so unless there's a world shortage of plastic, or unless there's a world shortage of labor, or there's labor strikes or something else going on, which to my knowledge there isn't, then to me, blaming it on a lack of resources just simply comes down to mismanagement. Lego is a mass-produced toy. That's what it is. So they're obviously not managing their resources properly, or they're trying to do too much at once. It's not a finite resource. It's not like a sporting final such as the Super Bowl where you have one game and you have one stadium and you can only sell a certain number of tickets. That's not the case with Lego. They just need to manage their factories, their staff, etc. And the other really strange thing about blaming this on limited resources and limiting this to 30,000 is it gets rid of the whole economies of scale. If you think about a newspaper, then you'll spend a lot of work on making a daily newspaper, right? Somebody has to write all the articles. I know they have different journalists, but they write all the articles. They think about the page layout, all the pictures. There's a lot of work that goes into it. But once you've made the newspaper, whether one person reads it or 1,000 or 100,000 or 1,000,000 people read it, it still has cost the newspaper the same amount of resources to construct the newspaper. And there's only a tiny marginal cost to physically print the newspaper. But other than that, there's virtually no extra cost. And it's the same with Lego. There's a lot of cost that goes into designing the set, which in this case they didn't even need to do because it was fan design. And getting all the, the molds for the parts and getting all the right colors and the color palette and the boxes and all this kind of stuff. There's a lot of work getting that logistical and manufacturing process right. But once you've done it, the cost of producing the 50,000th set is quite minimal compared to making the first set. So to put it simply, if it costs you, for argument's sake, $100 to make one Lego set, it might only cost you $10 to make the second Lego set. It's basically the cost of the plastic. So it costs you $110 to make two, or it costs you $100 to make one. So if Lego can make 30,000, why not make 60,000 or 90,000? And the profit margin they'll make on those incremental production is going to be much greater. I just don't understand why they would limit it to 30,000. And regardless of, even if you don't agree with those arguments, right, or you invalidate those, the reality we can say in hindsight is Lego got this massively wrong, right? It's sold out in 2 hours. So that tells me they don't understand their customers, or they're just neglecting them.